Hello, welcome to another weekly AEW review. Laura is still out for another week, dealing with family things. Hopefully, this will be the last week that I'm running solo today. Uh, let's jump right into it. Try and get this one done quick. Dynamite from March 4th came from El Paso, Texas. They had two world title matches scheduled ahead on this show. There was a bit of a misthrow miscue on the throwing to the video package at the start to set up for the first match. Kevin Knight versus MJF. This match got made last week when Knight faced him to shut him up when he came out to try and delay Collision. I give this match a 4 out of 5. It was really good. Went all the way through. MJF won this with the Heat Seeker. Notable in this was towards the end, MJF tried to kick the ref into the ropes to prevent the pin count from, I think it was Remsburg, when Jet hit the UFO splash on him. He managed to finish it off with the Heat Seeker to retain the win. After the match, MJF was trying to hit the Dynamite Diamond Ring on Knight, which brought Hangman out onto the ramp, distracted MJF. Speedball Mike Bailey slipped in the back of the ring, nailed a thrust kick on MJF to run him off. We'll probably get a Speedball versus MJF match next week ahead of Revolution, but I'm expecting something like that just because they had Speedball get into action in there. Match number 2. Orange Cassidy and Darby Allin teamed up to face Gabe Kidd and Clark Connors. This was really fun. I don't like necessarily the full build-up that they've been doing with Orange Cassidy being now involved with this War Dogs battle that's going on, but this was really fun. They took it right off the start, jumping the dogs on the ramp to start this fight. Darby smashes the back of his head on the apron edge when he took a shove off the top rope out to the outside. This was really fun, really smooth. I gave it a 3.5. There was some very smooth string of offense at the end from Darby and OC, targeting Connors to get them the win with an orange punch. Post-match, while they were celebrating in the ring, David Finlay has made his debut in AEW. He came over from New Japan. He's one of the former top leaders of Bullet Club / the War Dogs / Unbound Company. I don't know. No, he's not part of the Unbound Company. But yeah, he came in, attacked with the shillelagh that he was carrying. It's great to see that the War Dogs are going to be a trio. Hopefully they can actually get the term for Bullet Club back. I don't know. I would like to see actual Bullet Club be in AEW. I'm sad that the stable is dead and now missing. They had a backstage with Renee talking to Bandito and Andrade. Bandito actually was putting Andrade over, telling him how much he looked up to him as he was growing up in Mexico. And Andrade decided to be a dick and asked if Bandito wanted a selfie. I'm excited to see these two fight at Revolution. It will be a very fun and fast-paced match. Match number 3, the Brawling Birds versus the Inspiration. This was a 2-star match. The Inspiration got squashed. And you'll have seen this all over the internet. People kind of getting pissed off that this is what happened to the Inspiration on their Dynamite debut. I don't know what people were expecting from them. I watched the Inspiration when they were in WWE a little bit and when they were in TNA a little bit. I don't think we're going to see amazing technical wrestling out of these girls. They are very fun to watch, and they're going to be great enhancement talent in that division who can eventually help build up and get a championship themselves, but I don't see them being contenders for a while. They're very fun, but I just don't see that. They're trying to build and establish this division fully, and they need people to take the pins. So yeah, 2 stars. The Birds won this with their 2 birds, 1 stone finisher, which is just a doomsday device lariat thing. I don't really love that finisher that much either. See here, they had match number 4, Hangman versus Merrick Stone. Some jobber. I didn't even get what his name was. This match was shorter than the birds. It was an instant. Hangman nailed a large lariat, went to the outside, hit the buckshot lariat, pinned him right there. 1 star. Hangman then used this opportunity to call out MJF and tell him what he'll do to him at Revolution. You know, more shit talking. MJF. Oh, I'm getting myself thrown off because I'm using a different notepad. There we go. MJF comes out then and reminds Heyman that he had just beat Kevin Knight, which during that, the Don Callis family come in and jump Hangman. This is obviously because Jet Speed made the comments last week that Okada and Fletcher should find whoever they can to get a trio, and they'll fight them anytime, anywhere. Jet Speed does come in for the runoff, which brings Don out, and he makes the challenge to Jet Set Radio. I thought this was going to be for Collision. I thought they would at least hold it off for a night. No, this match was made for the main event of tonight, so we wind up with 3 world title matches on Dynamite. It will be Jet Set Radio versus Kyle Fletcher, Okada, and Mark Davis. We get a reunion of United Empire's tag team, thanks to the Don Callis family. See here, they had a pre-recorded interview between the Young Bucks and FTR in some back room somewhere, where the Bucks are just going after revenge here for what happened to their families when they face FTR at Revolution for the tag titles. Dax does kind of his, we're the bigger men, we had a no contact clause, but we didn't have a no contact clause with Brandon Cutler, and punches Cutler in the face. It was kind of I'm not loving their builds with FTR. I like FTR in the ring, they're good in the ring, I just don't love them outside doing their storylines. I really don't like Dax. He's just kind of the same stupid, I don't even know how to describe it, like self-absorbedness of the way that he handles talking with the other people in it. It's just bad. Match number 5, a Continental Eliminator match. I had high hopes for this one. I really did. Because it's Moxley versus Hechicero, and Hechicero is so fucking good. Hechicero does have new music, and I didn't like it. I preferred his techno-thumpy music that he had. But Hechicero looks great during this. I mean, this felt early on more like a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu match than it did a wrestling match, a pro wrestling match, just because of the trading of holds and the switches that they were doing, the move to mount, the attempts to switch guards and stuff. It felt more like a BJJ bout than anything. Moxley was the one that got them back up to standing, starting to trade blows. Even then, Hechicero can handle throwing at hands with Moxley. Hechicero did use the really just insane looking lasso from El Paso submission move. It's like you take the Dragon Tamer, you figure 4 the person's leg and pull that back into the Dragon Tamer with your knee on their neck, cranking them back, and like almost a Boston leg. It looked cool. I liked it. Moxley looked for a rear naked choke. Hechicero fought it off, went for one himself. They continued the hand fighting. Hechicero then takes back to the ground for more of that Yave submission moves and the Yave death roll. Eventually, though, Moxley gets him back up, gets the kick to the gut, sets himself up and nails a nice big Death Rider and gets the pinfall to put this challenge away. It was a 3.5. Again, I really wanted to give this higher, but I knew with it being an eliminator match and the match at Revolution coming up that we weren't going to get a super technical, in-depth match on this. I hope they get a run back on this. I hope we get to see Moxley versus Hechicero again for a much longer period. Post-match, or after the match, in between matches, Brody King came out and grabbed a mic to call out Swerve. So he doesn't have to tell people that he's dangerous like Swerve does. Nana comes out to bring Swerve out and basically distract. Well, Swerve comes in from behind on Brody and smashes him with the chain. Swerve wraps the chain around Brody's neck and hangs him up on the ropes. Bandito comes out and gets the save for him. They're going to have just a very, very violent match at Revolution to decide who's going to be the most dangerous man. Boys, let's see here. I'm running backwards on my list again. That's right. Death Riders backstage. They're getting themselves all psyched up. Garcia whines because the Don Callis family keeps trying to get involved in business and won't just straight up fight. Yuta insists that he's not wallowing after losing all of his hair, and Shafir wants Tony. Mox doesn't care about what anything other promotions say. He wants to fight Takeshita because he thinks that he and Takeshita have the same mentality when it comes to things. Yeah, it was a typical Death Rider promo section in the back for it. Match number 6 was the Women's World Championship match, Thunder Rosa versus Tekla. Rosa came out with Statlander kind of at her side. Tekla gives Rosa the opening shot and lets her kind of dictate the pace at the start of this thing. Rosa continued that as they went outside. She does a crossbody off of the guardrail onto Tekla, which I kind of wonder if the big fan that she used to kind of help stabilize herself when she jumped up is a plant or not, because the guy was right there, and yeah, he didn't have a problem with her needing to stabilize off of him to hit the crossbody. Tekla does manage to get the spider evasion very nicely done on this to set up her spear at the end of the match. I believe it was the second spear she hits during this to put Rosa away. It took a spear and 2 stomps to finally put Rosa down. I give it a 3. I mean, Tekla is enjoyable, but her promos are not. It's, I'm toxic. Oh, toxic. You want to get toxic? Yeah. It needs something more than just that. You need more depth. Tekla stomps Rosa on a belt as the Sisters of Sin kept Statlander away after the match, just to add more insult. They recapped the Mile High Madness match that happened with Perry getting the pin on Ricochet, which of course is going to lead to another match for that national championship that Ricochet has. Renee welcomes out Ciampa to ringside to talk to him about his aspirations of re-getting the TNT title back. Ciampa wants to take Fletcher on one-on-one and is willing to go through anybody he has to, including to go to war with Mark Briscoe if that's what it takes to get his next shot. FTR comes out to welcome him to the company and give him a hug. They have history previously in NXT, and Ciampa hasn't forgotten that he doesn't like them, especially Dax, and punches Dax in the face. Dax says that they'll see Ciampa on Saturday, though, to set up an awkward kind of walk-off. Tony Storm grabbed a cameraman in the back then and dragged them into the trainer's room to see OC so that she could tell Orange that Orange and Darby can stand behind her because she is behind them all the way. just a fun little Tony promo right there to build up. Darby and OC are going to be fighting the Dogs or whoever they have to this week, next week at Revolution. Wherever they have to go, they're going to keep fighting them. And then we've got our freshly announced at the start of the show main event. Don Callis family versus Jet Set Radio. You knew there was going to be some shenanigans with this when the match got made and Hangman and Jet had already had matches on this card. Even with that being the case, Speedball took a lot of the brunt of this match for his team early on. Finally gets a hot tag to Hanger, who clears out the Don Callis family. Jet Set Radio isolates out Fletcher for a while to try and get some damage on him. Eventually, MJF comes down, and as Hangman is looking to set up a buckshot lariat to get Knight set up to land the UFO splash, MJF runs out and pulls Hangman off of the apron. Causes a distraction, gets the Don Callis family in to wipe out the faces, and then Davis hits his jumping big pile driver thing on Knight and gets the pinfall, getting the Don Callis family 3 new beautiful championship belts. So, I honestly, even knowing how the end of this was going to be, I still gave it a 4 because this was fun. This was so much fun watching Jet face off with Okada and get that face-off again from the C2. Everything going. Having Bailey take the brunt of this because the other 2 guys have already had matches. Got him a lot of action, and I love seeing Bailey in action. I gave it a 4. Even with the sad loss and everything, I think it's going to be good to have Don Callis family as one of your top trios. They can take on anyone. There's enough of their support group to make sure that they keep their titles for a long time. I like it. I'm looking forward to the Don Callis family having a long championship run. We're going to move right into 3-7 Collision from Tulsa somewhere. I think Arizona. I couldn't tell if it was Tulsa or Tucson or what, but match number 1, they jumped right into it. It was the World Tag Team Championship being on the line, the Rascals facing FTR. The Rascals won this shot at FTR previously by winning an eliminator match. The Rascals managed to control it early in the ring. Dax threw Desmond outside. Stokely started choking him with a cord. That's how the FTR managed to get their momentum on this. Zachary stops the double team with a over-the-top rope dive that looked really good. The Rascals isolated Dax for a while until Cash gets his tag in. Dax kicks out of a second rope splashes from the Rascals. Like 2 big top rope splashes from the Rascals, like the proud and powerful thing that FTR do. Wentz kicked out of an avalanche backdrop out of the corners. I mean, this was fun and enjoyable all the way through. The end saw Dax getting up the knees when the Rascals went for their high fly flow. FTR then hit a FTR trigger, and I'm guessing they were looking for the Meltzer driver, the Stokely driver. Desmond blocked it, but they throw him out of the ring. They turn around and they'll shatter machine on Wentz, get the win. FTR retains 3 stars. That really wasn't that surprising. Mark Briscoe comes out as FTR is leaving and have a little back and forth on the ramp. Briscoe then comes out. He's joining commentary for Ciampa's match coming up. They have a thing of Hook backstage. And I'm just going to say this. Hook, your shit backstage is getting really fucking bad. Bones comes up, says he wants to show that he's able to be a killer. So how do they have Bowens show he's a killer? Hook has Shibata hand him the fucking camera, and they go following around Hook and Shibata now with a camera. When he told you to hand that camera, you should have took the camera and then smashed it into fucking Shibata's face and shown that you're a killer, Bowens. You are the 5-tool player that is 5 tools, and you will end a person with every single one of them. Shibata is like a fucking quiet fart. He's strong, silent, and deadly. What the fuck the deal is with Hook, I don't know. I don't think I can call Hook a killer, because I don't think Hook is a killer anymore. I think Hook is the kind of killer that relies on other killers to get the job done for him. And yeah, I'm quickly losing my interest in Hook's storyline here. Him being the new boss of the ops, he ain't done shit. He just walks around the back getting in the face of fucking jobbers and telling them, no, you're not joining my group. Worthless. I'd rather watch the fucking Slapnut system over in TNA than this shit. At least they have more cohesion in their fucking group. Anyway, God, yeah, that terrible section pissed me off. Just because I had such high hopes of Hook for so long. He's just not standing up to it on his own. Anyway, into match number 2. Daniel Garcia versus Ciampa. This is Ciampa trying to get some momentum back. Garcia started this match very tentatively, not wanting to lock up with Ciampa because Ciampa is clearly pissed. Tomasa controlled very early on, able to whip him around with leg whips. Eventually, Garcia targets Ciampa's knee by wrapping it around the post and smashing it that way, trying to get any advantage that he can. Garcia gets a single leg, switches it to a STF crossface, but Ciampa starts biting his hand to get out of it. Ciampa powerbombs Garcia onto his knees. That move looked insane. It was coming out of the corner. It was a big-ass fucking powerbomb where he jumps out and gets the knees into the guy's back. Holy crap. I think that had to have been a finisher move of his. It should have been. But Garcia gets in Briscoe's face outside of the ring, which then he goes back in the ring. Briscoe then gets up to go get on the apron while they're doing the arm throws, doing throws into the ropes, hammer throws into the ropes, and Garcia and Ciampa, or not Garcia, Briscoe and Ciampa bash on the side, causes a distraction. Ciampa winds up getting rolled up by Garcia for the 3. Overall, the match was like a 2.5. It didn't have enough teeth in it to really get good. Post-match, Briscoe was trying to talk to Ciampa, but Ciampa isn't having it. FTR come out. Briscoe comes back into the ring to try and protect Ciampa from potentially getting jumped by FTR. Hi. Instead, Ciampa jumps Briscoe, and as they're walking out of the ring, headed up the ramp, I guess this is a reference to him turning on Johnny Gargano in NXT. I saw some stuff online about that. I didn't see that when I was watching NXT, so I didn't know. I thought it was just a good turn. They do a recap from the C2, Takeshita versus Claudio's time limit draw from that because they have their rematch coming up. And then we move into match number 3. This one kind of hurt. This was a low score match for me. It was a 1.5. Swerve versus Gravity. Gravity is the brother of Bandito. It was great to see him back, but this is like Hulk mode Swerve. He's not going to lose easily. Swerve dominated this right out the start, taking his time, doing everything he can with his size advantage. Swerve starts ripping at Gravity's mask outside, which, I mean, that didn't even need to happen to have him be a bad guy. He was already overpowering Gravity so badly. Swerve stomp and a house call to the 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 1.5 star match. They had a post-show interview from Dynamite. Statlander says that her and Tekla are 1-1, so at Revolution she wants to have their match be 2 out of 3 falls, which brought Tekla out on the ramp saying, no, not going to happen. Challengers don't make demands, and I can agree with Tekla on that challengers don't get to make demands, but your challenger is the former champion that you took the belt off. They get a rematch clause. So we will probably get the 2 out of 3 falls or somehow make it official next week. I'm betting before the show. Renee was interviewing Moxley backstage. Moxley doesn't fear Takeshita. He recognizes the threat Takeshita is posing. And match number 4, the 200K 4-way tag match. This was chaos. Chaos and fun. Los Facción Ingobernables, Dualistico and Rouge versus Blake Christian and Big Shotty Lee Johnson of the Swirl. Private Party, Mark Quinn and Isaiah Cassidy, and the Outrunners, Turbo Floyd and Truth Magnum. Oh, so fun. 4 very fun tag teams. LFI and the Swirl did a little bit of team up as the 2 bad guy teams in this. Of course, that turned because LFI turned on them. The runners get in and do some amazing clearing house, and Turbo hits this giant suplex on somebody to the pile outside. See here. The Swirl has some actually really nice offense using the Tree of Woe that they put on Private Party. Private Party wins this, though, hitting a Doomsday Cutter on the Swirl. I had a feeling that it was going to be Private Party. They're coming back from their time off. 3.5 stars. This was above average. It was really fun, enjoyable, and let's hopefully get Private Party back up into the tag title scene because they deserve another run with the championships, I think. They did a recap of the trios match from last week. And then Renee was in the back interviewing Jet Speed. Not last week. The trios match from Dynamite where Jet Set Rodeo lost. Renee is interviewing Jet Speed, Mike Bailey, and Kevin Knight. Hangman has gone and talked to Tony Khan. He says that his team deserves a chance to get a rematch for the championships at Revolution, but because he's involved in the main event of Revolution, he is asked for Mystico to take his place in Jet Set Radio for them to be able to face the Don Callis family. So we will have Mystico, Kevin Knight, and Mike Bailey versus Mark Davis, Kyle Fletcher, and Kazuchika Okada for the Trios Championships at Revolution. Swerve shows up during the interview and tells Knight that he needs to become a killer. A lot of people telling people that they need to become killers. You gotta be a killer, kid. You need to be a killer. You're not a killer yet. See, Renee is also backstage with the Babes of Wrath. They immediately get jumped by Bane and Cross. Bane and Cross is a nice tag team. They're up next in the next match. Bane and Cross versus Tony Storm and Mina Shirakawa. They isolate Mina right off, showing off the power advantage of the 2 big women. It's fun. It's enjoyable. Mina's offense does not look that great. Don't want to be mean, but I'm sorry, Mina. It just doesn't look that pretty when she's in there. And there was even a point. So Mina's on the ground outside. Tony gets taken to the outside. Cross is setting her up so that Bane can hit a tope on her. And Mina's just standing off in the corner going, instead of getting in there and actually doing anything to help her partner. Lena Cross wins this, hitting a jackknife powerbomb on Mina after Marina Shafir comes out and takes Tony Storm off of the apron with distraction and holds her. I think they took her under the ring. 2-star. I knew there was going to be a fucking run-in from Shafir again. She's been doing it pretty much on every single one of Toni Storm's matches. And it undercut showing off the power of Megan Bayne and Lena Cross. So I think they should have held off on that. Make it a post-match again. I know they've had so many post-match run-in beatdowns, but see, they had a backstage with Briscoe. He felt that something was off with Ciampa when he got there. Briscoe has some friends to face Ciampa next week on Dynamite. It's going to be Ciampa and FTR versus the Young Bucks and Mark Briscoe. Match number 6. This was a standby match, allegedly, even though I think they advertised it on Dynamite that it would be happening after Finlay came in. The Dogs are taking on 3 jobbers. I did not even get these guys' names. The Dogs just destroyed them instantly. This was a 1-star match. There really wasn't anything to it. Finlay finished it with his finishing maneuver, the Overkill, which it definitely deserves its name. That is a very vicious finishing maneuver. But other than Finlay looking very strong and this setting them up as another trios for that division, that's about it. I mean, there was nothing else to it. You really didn't see too much of what Finlay is capable of. He's clearly going to be the leader of the Dogs. But yeah, overall, it was just kind of, Toni Storm came out, makeup all messed up, in a fit. She's calling out Shafir, no one at ringside at Revolution. They'll definitely give this match and make it. I think that one will be probably a surprise match for how good it will be at Revolution. But we'll see. Going on to the main event of the show, Claudio versus Takeshita. This was beefy. This was a lot of heavy hitting. Starts off nicely, evenly matched. Eventually, Claudio starts targeting Takeshita's arm. And he's targeting it with, like, pull the arm out, lariats up into your arm. Or uppercuts into your arm joint. Just constant. He went after him hard. Claudio went outside, grabbed in a couple of chairs to toss into the ring to try and distract the ref. Then went to go grab his CMLL title, like he's going to go in and hit Takeshita with that. Hechicero came running out, stopped him, and took the belt away from him. That was enough of a distraction that when Claudio got back in, Takeshita was able to get the advantage and now Raging Fire to get the pin. So Takeshita now holds a pinfall over the CMLL World Champion, or Heavyweight World Champion. So that should set up a match in AAA for that championship. I gave it initially a 3-star, but I did move it up to a 4-star because this was a really well done, bit slower pace, but for the 2 large guys that it worked. A lot of heavy hitting, a lot of fun in it. Post-match, Taka faces off with Mox. Hechicero tried to jump Moxley, but Takeshita stopped him and pulled him off. And I was trying to tell him, no, I don't need this, I don't need this. But it just spirals into a brawl as the Don Callis family comes running out. Death Riders come running out. They brawl to finish off the show. Not bad for the penultimate week before Revolution. I am looking forward to the last bit of the Revolution card getting finalized. Next week is Revolution week, so I will try and get out the Dynamite and Collision videos before the pay-per-view and then have the pay-per-view be its own video. If you enjoy the videos and like what I'm doing, like what me and Laura have been doing, hit the like button. That helps the algorithm. Hit subscribe, lets you know when we're going to be putting out another video. Leave a comment down below. Any questions you have, anything at all, be it wrestling or otherwise, go ahead and leave us a comment. We have plenty of time to answer, and we love to get to know our fans more. And we will catch you guys in our next video. You have a great week. Bye.